third and final hour. It is the Power Hour. Keep dialing. We'll get to your calls, 888-876-2336. John, you're not kidding. I just found this book. It's $100.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I did find a copy for $59, and I'm thinking about buying it.
Buy it. It's a fantastic book. Aside from the political and sociological problems that Rudolf Diesel had, he died broke. He was actually working as a mechanic on a ship and flung himself off the side, committed suicide. I mean, just...
In a half mile, keep to the right on I-40 East, US 67 North, US 167 North.
Torture genius, total torture genius, and Robert Bosch really gave it to him. It really just bad. Bosch befriended him and then pretty much stole all of his patents.
In a quarter a mile, keep to the right on I-40 East, US 67 North, US 167 North.
Some of his patents were too aggressive. He was promising a 100% efficient engine, and that was never possible, so they didn't make it through all the patenting processes. But a lot of them with modern technology would have been, but just weren't back then. So the guy...
In 1.5 miles, keep to the right on I-40 East.
It's a great story. And it was, like I said, written by Plessy Cummins' son, I believe, Lyle Cummins, right? Is that who the author is?
I think so, yeah. It was, it was published in the 90s originally, so it's not really that old of a book.
No.
And like I said, I mean, there are plenty of copies, used copies for over $100, but I found that a company on Amazon claims it's a brand new copy of this book for $59. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to order it right now. In fact, I just
one click shopping, right?
Yeah, one-click shopping. It's on its way. All right. I can't pass up a good book. I picked up a book just yesterday, by the way, and I ordered it and got it in the mail, and I don't know why I never got this book before. I kind of got hooked on talk radio with Bruce Williams. I don't know if you ever listened to him or not. I thought he was just absolutely amazing. He was the #1 talk show on radio for decades, really. And he was kind of...
In a half mile, keep to the right on I-40 East.
I modeled my show a lot after. In fact, my opening line is kind of a tribute. And that was the opening line he used for years and years. And I use it not to just copy it, but
in a quarter a mile, keep to the right on I-40 East.
Almost like a tribute because he's not on the air anymore. And he wrote 2 books, and I don't know why he never got them. So I just got one yesterday. It's called In Business for Yourself. It's just about starting a business, and I have read a lot of business books. And
continue on this road for 122 miles.
I think I'm going to learn anything earth-shattering in there, but I want a copy of it. So this would be another one to add to my library. All right, it looks like we lost Bruce. Did he get blown away?
I don't know.
or when I told him to mute his phone, maybe he hit the wrong button.
I can hear him talk. He's trying to talk to us over there. I hear him through the wall.
Oh, hey, no, he's back now.
Hey, Kevin, my headset, the battery ran low and it hung up on you. Now I'm on the handset for the next hour or so.
I got it. All right. I thought you either got blown away or you hit the wrong button when I told you to mute the phone. All right. Let's get back to some phone calls. Let's go to Nebraska. Mike, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good. What's on your mind?
I got a question about these tires. I got a Michelin XDN2, the energy, X-Line Energy.
Well, no, which one? The XDN2 or the X-Line Energy? Those are 2 different tires.
Okay, I got one XDN2 and the rest are X-Line Energy.
Okay.
This one I had to replace last night.
Continue on this road for 4.4 miles.
Okay. I ran all of them at 110. My company ran them lower than that.
Speed warning.
But I see I get better fuel mileage with them running at 110. Should I keep them running at 110 or?
Well, I agree with you. You will get better fuel economy at 110. The harder we make a tire, the less rolling resistance there is. And on the drive tires, inflation doesn't have much to do with tire wear. Now, on the steer axle, inflation is critical. If we get off just 5 pounds or so on a steer axle, that can cause some wear issues. On the drive axle, we have a pretty wide range we can run that tire inflation. You could run that tire in a lot of cases down at 80 pounds, and it would do just fine. It wouldn't wear funny. You would lose fuel economy. You would actually gain some ride comfort. That softer tire rides better. You could run it all the way up to 120 and probably not see any wear issues. And you will get better fuel economy. Your ride's going to get stiffer. So for me, trucks ride pretty darn good anyway. So I would always run up at the high end of inflation on the drive. But most companies are probably going to run their drives around 90. So if you want to keep it at 110, you are getting better fuel economy.
Are they more prone to having blowouts and everything like that? Because yesterday I had a blowout on a sidewall, and I didn't know if it was because I overinflated it.
Now, if anything, it's the opposite. So the stiffer we make that tire, the less flexing there will be on the sidewall, the less heat there's going to be. A tire overinflated will run significantly cooler. A tire underinflated will run hot. Underinflation is where we see all the problems. If you had a sidewall fail, it had nothing to do with the inflation.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I think Mike Beckett has told me the tire itself, I think he has told me they will actually stay together up to like 300 pounds of pressure. They will not fail under that much pressure. The rim would fail first, long before the tire did. So it's always surprising how much pressure one of those tires could handle, and it's underinflation that causes failures because of the heat and the flex.
In 1.5 miles, take AR391 Galloway.
John, anything you want to add to that? I know you guys deal a lot with tires.
I do a lot with that. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by the whole tire thing in the tire testing that you've done, but I would not be afraid to go high. I'd run it at the max. Watch your tire wear. Just look at start seeing too much come off the center, maybe back it down. But the new radial tires are so strong that they should be able to handle that no problem. I would like to, I told you about this whole test system we're building. And of the things I'd be able to attach to that are infrared temp sensors. And
Blending road ahead.
we use those in racing. We'll put 3 on each tire to look at the tire alignment and see how the tire's loading in the turn. So we could actually run the thing down the road under load and look at the temperature map, basically, of the surface of the tire, and determine what pressures to run or different alignment settings and so forth from that.
Oh, wow.
I would love to do that on a big truck. I think that'd be really cool.
In a half mile, take AR391 Galloway and end, turn right in 0.3 miles.
That would be cool.
Put the super singles on, load it up, especially if you're going to deal with things like Volvos with the adaptive loading.
In a quarter mile, take AR391 Galloway and end, turn right in 0.3 miles.
Or they've done things like this, but I think it'd be really neat to learn for ourselves how that all works.
Yeah, it Mike, and I've read this before because Michelin actually put out a bulletin.
In a quarter mile, turn right on AR391 and end, approaching the destination on the right side in 730 feet.
When I first started running white signals, I put 140 in them, and they did fantastic. No irregular wear, great fuel economy. And Michelin came out with a bulletin saying you had to be careful, but it was the rim they were concerned about, which seems bizarre. I mean, we don't think the rim would fail because of the pressure. You think of the tire. But according to Mike Beckett, those tires have been tested to crazy amounts of pressure.
I can believe that. A lot of rim failures, we see a lot of that in racing as well, and that's probably the limiting factor is the rim. And that's a solvable problem, though. I mean, if it were found to be that,
Approaching destination in 600 feet on the right side.
It was more efficient to run something. I can't imagine that, Elko or someone couldn't just, beef the rim up in certain areas to fix that.
Yeah, I'm sure they could. I'll tell you the biggest problem, finding somebody that can pump 140 pounds of pressure today.
Use a bottle. That's all.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get back to the calls. Let's go to Minnesota. Gary, welcome to the program.
Hi, guys. say I got a couple things. I just bought a new trailer, and it's got the automatic air infiltration instead of all 8 tires back there, and it's preset to 95 pounds. And I put a lift axle in it, so every time I'm empty, I lift the one axle. Am I better off to run it up to about 105, 110 pounds back there? And then the other deal was okay.
For the same reasons we just talked about. The
Continue on this road for 4.6 miles.
harder the tire, the better the fuel economy. I mean, that's just physics again. And back there isn't even... I would probably, for me, I'd probably be running 115 or 120.
Okay, so I used to run, when I didn't have automatic air infiltration, I always ran them at 110. And they wore beautifully, and I got good mileage, so.
Yeah, I've always been push it as high as possible and watch for irregular wear. If I see some wear happening, then I'll back it off 5 pounds and keep watching. But I always ran every tire as high as I could run it without causing any weird or strange wear patterns.
Okay. Then the other question is kind of a question. The transmission, I got 13 speed. Does it run 50 weight oil? And the rear ends, I don't know if it's 80, 90 or whatever, synthetics. What is the lightest you go and what brand? John was kind of focusing this one on since he's into racing.
Which synthetic oil to run? Or in which,
which weights?
Synthetic brand, which weight and what synthetic, what brand, and why?
we're having really good luck with ours. I'd simply go with the 540 Rotella, unless you're going to be getting by here. We've been doing some mail order with the DA synthetic. We're having really good luck with. We're seeing lower wear metals over a similar amount of time with the Rotella. But I'd go with the 540, or unless you could get down to the a 530. But with the modern synthetics, the film strength is so strong. I would not hesitate to use the 1030 even. So
I'm talking in the transmission and rear.
On the transmission, the rears. Oh yeah, the transmission, the 50 weight. I've heard talk of a 40 weight is supposedly available now too. That I don't have much experience with, but this 50 weight that we use, I think is fine. The straight 50 synthetic in the transmission, and the rear is the 7590. I've not heard much lower than that. But the 7590 is never a problem. We run that in the race cars. So.
Yep. And really, I think on both of those components, we're kind of limited to what's available. I mean, they're really,
we are. Yeah, there's not a whole lot there.
Right, and the differentials for sure, we've talked about, you have to have those additives because of the extreme pressure, and there just aren't that many options.
Yep.
Let's take a break, and then we will come back, and we'll get to more of your calls and questions right after this. You're on the Road Dog, Sirius XM 146. It is the Power Hour. Stick around.
And I mean to be a president of all the people.